All right, good morning. Good morning. Made it. Sorry for the fast entrance here. How's everybody doing? And Chris, come on over here. My guest, Chris Snow, come on up, brother, from Florida. Who says it doesn't snow in Florida? Ha ha.
Yes.
I could not wait to use that one today. I'm getting a few applauds from the crowd and everything. Good morning. Good morning. So, Chris, welcome. You are my guest today. Why don't you tell everyone how long you've been in real estate and a little bit about Mr. Snow, where you're located in Florida? We want to hear the Cliff Note 30,000 version of your life. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? How did you end up in Florida? Tell us.
All right, so I'm one of like six native Floridians. I was actually born in the north central Florida part of the state, just outside of Gainesville, where the University of Florida is. Lived there pretty much my whole life. Graduated from college at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, St. Augustine. That's where I live now, is in this Northeast Florida area. Spent a couple years up in Vermont, where my last name finally actually made sense. But then soon after moved back to Florida, and that was 2000, right around 2000. In 2004, I got my real estate license. Started running a team somewhere around 2010. Opened my own brokerage in 2010, 2011, and then made the worst business decision of my life by buying a franchise in 2015, and got introduced to EXP in 2017, and was able to join on, I guess, at the end of 2017, early 2018. And after about a 9-month legal process to buy out of a franchise, we made the move over in August of 2018.
I muted myself there. So you said the worst business decision of your life was to buy that franchise?
Yes, and we bought a Century 21, so we kind of felt like, hey, it's the biggest name in real estate worldwide. We were running an independent shop. We wanted to be able to grow our real estate brokerage, and we weren't doing a good job of it. So we felt like, hey, it must be us. So let's go, partner up with a franchise who knows how to do this. And it took us about a year and a half to figure out they didn't know any better how to grow a brokerage than we did. And uh,
That's awesome. But now
uh,
you're paying them and you're just even making less money.
yeah, and Brent, that was the biggest deciding factor. And you run a team, I run a team, and you track where your business comes from. And so every year, every 6 months or so, you're kind of looking at those numbers, going, okay, what are we making money on? What are we spending money on? Are we getting a return back? And if we're not getting a return back, we need to get rid of it. Well, our biggest expense for our 2.5 years, almost 3 years with Century 21, was just our royalty fees. We were broker owner, so you would think that you couldn't
But
get any
Chris,
better position.
it's only 6%. I mean, what? How could that
Actually, it
hurt?
was only 8%.
Oh,
So
8%.
it's 6% royalty, 2% national advertising fund. So
Oh yeah.
uh,
So,
our
but yeah, but you got all those listings. You were getting like 100, 200 listings a year because
oh
you had the Century
yep.
21 logo,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, and when we did the math, we paid them almost $100,000 a year just in royalties. And then when we looked at, okay, well, the Century 21 brand name, how much did that return back to us? Because again, we track where all of our leads come from, and it was bringing us about 12 to $14,000 a year from someone coming saying, "I know you're a Century 21 agent. I want to do business with you."
Wow,
One a
wow. And of
year.
course, everybody listening. I'm kidding. He did not get 100 to 200 listings a year. People think because I buy a Remax franchise or Century 21 or Better Homes or a Coldwell Banker franchise that people are just going to beat your door down to list with
Yep.
you because you're Coldwell Banker. And I bet you found pretty much, other than a few people, that didn't happen, right?
Correct. It really struck home to us when we finally made the decision. We pulled the band-aid and said, all right, let's go ahead and make the move over. I said it took us, we had to go through a legal process. So we ended up spending almost $100,000 to buy out of our franchise. And so we make that decision, we cut the check, and then now we've got to go to our customer saying, I think we had about 20 active listings at that point, and we had to go to 20 customers and say, hey guys, I'm sorry, but we're no longer affiliated with Century 21. There's going to be a new sign in the ground out front, and I would say there were probably 4 to 8 of our customers who came back and said, you're with Century 21. I didn't realize you even. And I'm like, you got a sign in your front yard with the big Century 21 logo. How did you not know? Like, well, we're doing business with you. And so that's when, conceptually, I always kind of thought that, but it wasn't until they actually expressed that I truly believe that.
Wow. So did you lose any clients because you disaffiliated with Century 21?
We lost one, and it was someone who was looking to get out of their listing anyway.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a little vulnerability there.
Yep.
I remember when I left Remax, and I'd been there 12 years, became one of their top agents, and was selling hundreds of homes annually. And I went to Keller Williams. I was worried about that. What will my clients think about Keller Williams? Not as well known, some yahoos out of Texas, Austin, the whole thing. But I'd be convinced Keller Williams was a place I wanted to explore. And I brought 37 listings and escrows to Keller Williams. Nobody cared. They're like,
yeah,
you can go anywhere you want. We love you. We chose you. We don't care where you work. I'm like, well, that was interesting. And then I took an even bigger leap of faith when I left Keller Williams and went to EXP. I mean, when I went to Keller Williams, there were over, I think, 80,000 Keller Williams agents when I made the move. And they just weren't well known in Sacramento. When I went to EXP, there were 1,300 or 1,288 worldwide, which was US and Canada. And there wasn't a single EXP sign panel in Sacramento. When I went to Keller Williams, there were hundreds of Keller Williams sign panels. So I really took the plunge when I made that break from Keller Williams EXP. And again, I moved 30 something listings and escrows from Keller Williams EXP. Again, nobody cared. Nobody cared. I did have some touchy sellers that, you're a little vulnerable with those listing contracts. If they're frustrated and their home's not selling, then there is a little bit of vulnerability there.
Yep. Yeah. And normally what I find with those is that those are ones that you're probably going to lose regardless of whether you made the change or not. And they have an expectation of what their house is worth on the market that's not necessarily a reflection of what the actual market value is.
Yeah, exactly. So you got an EXP a little while back, and how many people have you sponsored now?
Yep. So August of 2018, came on board and just transitioned the team over. My business partner basically sponsored most of our team, and I kind of set myself up to go outside of the team to do my sponsorships. Really, it was probably more early 2019 that I really started to push the accelerator, and so I've had an opportunity to sponsor 32 people since January, February of 2019, and those 32 people have turned into almost 100. So we've
nice.
almost hit that 100 mark. So
and are of the 100, what percentage of those are in Florida?
Oh, I would say 70%. I think I've got 7 states now represented, so that's kind of cool.
Oh man, I can tell you, I remember having our alarm just went off in the building. Lovely. Anyways, they're working upstairs. Yeah, they're doing construction. The fire alarm's going off. Anyways, so long story short is they're checking on it, make sure we're safe. So the oh shoot, what was I going to say? Where were we talking about?
The agents, what states they're in, how many?
Oh yeah. I remember having 100. And being in 7 states, and I'm telling you, you will grow to 500 and be in 27 states, and then you'll go to 1,000 and be in 30, 40 states, and it just keeps growing. You guys, we're going to 400,000 throughout the U.S. and Canada, another 600,000 worldwide. We'll be the first company with 1 million, and I'm telling you, that stock price, even though it's been pretty exciting, it's going to look like a fire sale as they develop mortgage and title and home warranty, and we have this built-in base of 100,000 agents. We're doing everything we're doing with 36,000 agents. Could you imagine when we hit 100,000 agents and 400,000 agents, what the value of that stock will be? I mean, I'm looking at it right now. We're currently valued over 4 billion. And if you track this stuff, Realogy, who owns Coldwell Banker, are the largest, oldest brands ever, along with Better Homes and other companies.
Century 21.
SAS, Century 21 is one of them,
Yep.
and Coldwell Banker. They're valued at 1.2 billion, which is a big number. And Remax, one brand, not 28 brands like the Realogy, one brand is valued at 1.4 billion, even more. And then EXP, it's only been around for 10 years, valued at 4 billion, over 3 times that the value of some of the most successful competitors in the nation. So, and that's with 36,000 agents, you guys. So people, is there room for that stock to move? Oh, yes. My daughter made $80,000 this year on the stock. By investing in EXPI stock. She made 80,000. She didn't even work. She's doing homework. So it's pretty crazy. But so Chris, you've been around the block. What is it that you appreciate? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just to piggyback off the stock part of that, we paid a good $250,000 to Realogy Corporate or Century 21 over that 2.5-year period. And when we left, you know how much stock we took with us?
How much?
0, right? So nothing, got nothing for it. So,
Yep. I had a friend of mine who founded a Keller Williams, a very successful one. 15 years ago, she put $15,000 of her money in it. She got like 1 or 2% of the office, but she was excited to be a part of it, to own a piece of the office she worked at. 15 grand. She wasn't awarded that. She scraped together as a single mom. She sold it 2 years ago. She spent a year trying to sell it, and guess how much she was offered for it after a year?
5 grand.
10 grand. So it
ROI.
appreciated over 15 years by 33%. She didn't make a penny of profit, lost 33%. And that took 15 years to happen. And she assumed it was worth, $50, $70, $80,000. But it's only worth what someone's willing to buy it for. When she went to sell, she could not get more than $10,000 for her little shares. Is that crazy?
Unbelievable.
I know, it's real. I have agents. I got a message here from a couple that if they called their stockbroker and hit the sell button, they put $850,000 in their bank account. And nobody even knows them. They just sold a bunch of real estate and told a few people. I hear that story all the time. One of my agents last week, Luann, she sold 5,000 shares just because she still has over $1 million in the bank, $1 million worth of stock. So she sold 5,000 and put $250,000 cash in her bank account. Geez, I know I got to pay taxes on it, but I don't know. I just wanted to enjoy some of it. So she still has over $1 million left in EXPI stock. But it's pretty cool that, we hear these stories all the time. So Chris, what do you see for yourself in the future? What are you hoping to do in the next year? What do you see yourself in a year?
So, great question. So we're continuing to build our team. On average, we've been selling about 150 to 175 homes every year. Goal would be to try to bring that to 200 to 225 this next year. That's kind of a nice little goal we're going to put out there. But along with that production, gives us the opportunity. I'd like to hit 200 agents before the middle of next year. And based on what I'm kind of seeing in my own organization and what I've just in talking with some of the other, top attractors, is that it's almost like every 6 to 7 months, your organization doubles in size. And so if I go back over the last 18 months, it's almost that, that kind of methodology. And so I'm looking forward to hitting the 200 and then hitting the 400. And if I can, that'll be before the end of next year.
That's awesome. I think it's very possible. There's a guy in the front row who did that. He's always giving me his numbers, Dan Hillman. Dan, would you stand up and would you tell Chris, Dan's from Atlanta, Chris. Dan, do you remember having 100 agents in your group? And then tell everybody where you are today.
Hey, Brent, I appreciate that. So yeah, 88 the first year, 193 the second year, and I'm 2.5 years in, and I don't know. This morning it was 359, but we're working really hard. Also going deep. I'm doing a lot of work with my agents, as you do, Brent. So I'm learning from you, but also going deep is just as much as going wide. And it's the last month 12.7% growth for the whole for the group. So
Which would
it's
be
going to go
awesome
way
if that
past
was
that.
in a year, but that's in a month.
Yeah, so it's going to go way past that. It was 120% growth year over year the first 2 years, but this year it's going to be. I mean, my calendar year is April, so it's going to be way. It looks to be way over 120% for this calendar year. If the second half of my calendar year is
Those are
anything like
some
the first half.
big numbers. Do you think Chris has got a shot to end up at 400 a year from now next fall if he hustles hard?
Yep, if you work hard at it.
Yep. So that's Chris. We're going to be conservative and put your rev share at $250,000 a year. And what kind of money do you have to invest to get a 25%? Well, say a 10% return? You'd have to invest millions of dollars to get that kind of a return. It would be $2.5 million. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
And risk it. It's pretty cool. So let's tell people, what did you do to sponsor? You sponsored 30 something people. What do you say to people? Do you call strangers? Do you call people you know? When you ask someone to take a look at EXP, how do you approach it?
I sponsor a lot of agents that I've never met before, and I just will call them to just get an idea of who they are, what their business is, and just find out a little bit more about them. And I'll spend about 10, 15 minutes just chatting about what they want to do and, where they see themselves. And then I'll kind of get into my story a little bit. And it's not until about 15 to 18 minutes do I ever mention EXP, because I kind of want to go through and, they based on what they're telling me, I I'd love to think that every agent is a perfect fit for EXP, or they may be, if they just changed brokerages like 2 weeks ago, maybe not the best time to talk about it, but just to find out a little bit more about them. And then I'll set up the problem that I had in my business and hopefully tie the problem to something that they've told me something earlier in their conversation, and let them know the solution that I found. And then that's the first time that I mention EXP.
Very nice. And then you ask them for their opinion on it. What do you do?
Yep. It's if I, the whole if I would you, hey, if I were to send you a video very similar to the one that I saw in 2018 that made me pick up and spend almost $100,000 to buy out of a franchise, if I were to send that over to you, would you take a look at it and give me your opinion?
Wow, that's powerful. So I always say the more you pay, the more you pay attention. So you paid a big price to have this opportunity with EXP, and of course you're paying attention and you're having success with it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. So I just to everybody in the room, I would encourage everyone. Would you email your listing presentation? Well, of course you would. So sometimes I had people in Reno, Las Vegas, Tucson, Dallas, that I literally emailed the listing presentation, as in I had them watch the modelexplain.com or Gene Frederick's the 3 napkin approach thing or whatever, right?
Yes.
But if you can, this will help all of you get a better result. Say, hey, when is a time when I can get you in front of your computer with a good internet connection? I'd actually make an appointment with them, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, go Friday, great. Morning or afternoon, great. 3, 4, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, great. I will call you at 5 o'clock. Be ready. Is there any, Chris? Do you have anything you could email me? Say that, Chris.
Brent, you got something you can email me?
I don't, but I'll see you Friday at 5 o'clock. I'll see you then. Of course I have something I could email them, but I'm not going to. So no, I don't email people. People ask me to email them my listing presentation. I go, hey, I can't possibly tell you what your home's worth until I see it. So I'll bring some information for you, a little care package when I see you this Friday or this Saturday or this Sunday. So the time to drive 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour with traffic to a listing. You spend an hour there, maybe 30, 45 minutes home, maybe an hour if the traffic's bad at 5 o'clock. You spend 2 or 3 hours on a listing for temporary money. For a complete, like all the listings you get this year, 3 years from now, it doesn't mean a hoot. It doesn't mean a thing. And you spend the time and the money to do it. And then somehow with EXP, what I'm encouraging everyone to do here is to meet with the person live in person if you possibly can. And now if you can't and they're far away, when's the time I can get you in front of your computer with a good internet connection? And then because I want you to see something. I want you to check out EXP. I want to get your opinion on the model. So that is a really important thing to do. Does Chris, that make sense?
Absolutely. I keep challenging myself to move that over, and I'm just kind of a scaredy cat.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're all there. But if you want better results, anybody in this room want better results? Well, heck yeah. Well, so what I want to encourage you to do is to power through that, right? I used to, when people would stall on a listing contract, I would say, they go, well, we want to pray about it. I go, no problem. I think that's great. I think you should. But why don't I do this? Instead of you driving to my office, took me 30 minutes to get out here and spend an hour with me. Instead of you spending a couple hours, why don't we take 5 minutes to do the paperwork right now? And then I'm going to write in here by hand that you can cancel for any reason, with 24-hour written notice for any reason at any time with 24-hour written notice. In other words, you just shoot me an email and your listing's done tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If you send it at 3 o'clock today. And not an agent in the world will do this because they're too afraid you'll cancel on them. I will, because I know I'm going to deliver. I'm going to under promise. I'm going to over deliver. So I will gladly write this in my listing agreement. And what it does, it allows you to hold my feet to the fire. It allows you to hold me accountable for my actions. If you go list with Coldwell Banker or Remax or Keller Williams agent, they're going to have you sign a 1-year contract. And look at this. I showed them the listing. It's an irrevocable listing contract. That's some pretty powerful language. I hold the listing contract up, but I'm going to put here in this other terms and conditions, and I start writing, you may cancel this agreement at any time for any reason with 24-hour written notice. I'm going to write this here. That means you get to hold me accountable all the way through. And if at any time you're not thrilled, I don't mean happy, I mean thrilled, over the moon with my service, you could let me go. Now, I was afraid to do that, Chris, and everyone listening, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I might get fired and I'm spending money. No one's ever fired me. Guess what? Under promise and over deliver, man. I don't put that in every contract, but if they hesitate, because when they say, well, we're going to pray about it, we're going to interview a couple more agents, you're going to lose. They will likely list with the last agent. So do not walk out of there without a signed listing agreement. And when I finally had the courage, you mentioned having the courage and the guts to do it, Chris. When I finally did that, I started listing every home I went on. They're like, well, what have we got to lose? And then when agents go, well, did you sign anything? Did you sign? They go, yeah, we signed a listing agreement. They never mention, but we have a right to cancel. They go, yeah, we signed. Yeah, we're good. Chris knows a nice guy. Let's just go with Chris. I don't want to talk to more agents anyway. And we can fire him at any time if we don't like him. Then and guess what? I made sure that I called him and communicated, because the number one complaint of a seller is communication. Well, same thing with attracting agents to EXP. It's communication. What I want to do right now is something different today. I want to invite those of you in the audience up on stage. If you've sponsored 5 or more agents, I want you to walk over here by me and stand right here. Come on up here on stage by me. If you sponsored 5 or more agents, come up on stage right now. I've never done this, and I'm going to invite you up. Come stand by me. Get in line behind me like it's the Congo. Get in line behind me, facing the direction I'm facing. And so get up by me on stage. Get behind me. Form a line literally behind me if you sponsored 5 or more. Chris, you don't have to do that. Come on, Chris, you go to the podium. I want you by the podium because you're my guest, you're my superstar agent. So everyone gets behind me, everyone form it. If you sponsored 5 or more. So what I'm going to do is one at a time, I want you to come up to the front over here by the podium and tell everyone who you are. As Chris, go ahead and turn around. We're going to greet him. Stand by me, Chris. Come on over here. We're going to find out who you are, what city you're from, and how many people you've sponsored. And so like Nancy, my dear friend Nancy don't get your personal space, Chris. You're freaking me out.
I'm trying.
There you go. So Nancy, come on over here and tell us who you are, where you're from, and how many people you sponsored. And if you want, you could say how many people in your group, and if something exciting happened, tell them that too.
Hi, Brent. Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Farber from Ohio. I've sponsored 7. I think I have 13 in the organization, and I just brought over my first, what I consider whale, or Brent would call her my first runner.
I don't think she would enjoy being called a whale, but what I know that I helped Nancy sponsor Dana, and she sold 61 homes her first year. She's selling like 60 homes her second year. She is a monster. How excited are you, Nancy?
Very, very.
And she got an LOI and signed up 3 people her first 3 weeks. And baby, you're off to the running. Congratulations. And Nancy used to be a founder of Keller Williams and on the ALC and a cultural ambassador for Keller Williams. So welcome to EXP, Nancy. We're so excited you're here from Canton, Ohio.
Thank you.
All right, next person. We got to go fast. We'll go fast. Come on, go ahead, Nancy. Head back down, and next person, you can't get off that way, Nancy. You got to walk out and down the stairs. Yeah. Oh, who do we got here? Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff Lewis from Tampa Bay. Hey, Brent.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, yeah, so we've sponsored 5 people, got 15 people in our group here out of Tampa Bay.
Nice.
We just brought on a guy, he's coming on right now out of Illinois, who's moving 100 transactions. So we've got about 10 more in the pipeline, so we're excited.
I love it. Congratulations, Jeff Lewis, a great guy, another wonderful person. Have a good day. Thanks, Jeff. Okay,
Thanks,
next person. By the way, those of you that sponsored 4 and you're in the audience, you're pissed right now. It's the worst. I know. I said 5. It's terrible. You'll get there. So who do we have here? We have Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, sorry I couldn't get my mic off. I'm Rebecca McInnes, and I live in Weatherford, Texas, and I have sponsored 9 personally, and my current active group right now is 18.
I love it. So you sponsored 9. What's in your hand? Is that a laser?
I think I have some kind of presenter tool, and I don't know how to turn it off.
Oh, that's so funny. You have the laser. You can actually point at the board behind me and laser stuff that you're presenting. If you go into technology, they'll show you how to take the tool out of your hand.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, who else we got here? We got Kathy Carter. Hey, Kathy, come on up.
Hey, Brent, how's it going?
Going awesome. So tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and anything you want to share.
Yeah, so Kathy Carter from Nashville, Tennessee, and personally I've sponsored 17, and I have a couple of amazing rock stars, and my group is 851.
Wow, you have 851 in your group?
Yeah, I do.
That
Nice.
is so awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. So, and by the way, if you see someone from Ohio or Florida or Kathy here, it's from someone celebrating in the audience.
I love it.
So who is that? Sam Holman. Sam, you're funny.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy, she's from Nashville. She have a contact there. Thank you, Nancy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Who do we got next? We have, who's walking up here? I can't see. Is that, Hal from Southern California. See, the Florida guys, the Southern California guys all wear sandals. I don't know if you guys are noticing that. How's it going, Hal?
Doing good. How about you, Brent?
Amazing. How long you been in real estate, Hal?
Oh my gosh, forever. 40 plus years.
It's like voting for Phil Mickelson to win the Masters. You're like the old dog, Rocco Media.
There you go. I love the style.
So how many people have you sponsored? How many in your group, and where are you from?
Personally, 15 and 18 total, and Orange County, California. So it's fun to be in business with you.
Oh man, we love Hal. You're awesome, Hal. Thank you. Okay, who do we got next? We got Walker also from Southern California, Valencia, I believe, by Magic Mountain, kind of a Disneyland Junior kind of place. But Elgin Walker, one of my favorite people in the world. What's up, Elgin?
What's happening, Brent? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome, man. So I told everyone where you're from. How many you sponsored? How many in your group?
22 personal sponsors and 265 in the group.
Nice.
I remember when you signed up in EXP, and you're such a quality human being. Everyone loves you. In fact, one of your most successful guys, people were talking about EXP, and he wasn't clicking with anybody, and he wasn't really giving anyone the time of day. But when he saw Elgin Walker sign up for EXP, his wife saw you on Facebook, and she went, "You need to call Elgin," because he liked the idea, but he wasn't connecting with anyone. And so because you're such a great guy and have a great reputation, that was a big deal for you. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate all your help and all your support. Thank you, man.
We love you, man. Way to go. Way to go. Okay. Next, we have Mr. Frank Crandall. Come on up, Frankie baby. What's going on?
Aloha, Brent.
Aloha. That's because we're going to Maui, aren't we, Frank?
You bet.
Can't wait. Well, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and how many you sponsored and how many in your group.
Yeah, Frank Crandall from Sacramento, California, sponsored 22 people, and I'm north of 300.
Awesome. Congratulations, Frank.
Awesome.
Well done, my friend. And who helped you get your real estate license, Frank?
Brent Gove.
We go back a long time. We had went to lunch at Bakunis, and he's like, "Do you think I could do real estate?" I go, "Heck yeah!" It's back when I was a Remax agent, I think, way back, about 15 years ago. So Dan Hildman, Atlanta, Georgia. I stole your thunder from Atlanta. I love Dan. How many of you sponsored? How many in your group now, Dan?
Yeah, 34 and 359.
34 and 359, headed to 3,000. I remember having 300, Dan, and now we have 14,000 plus. So it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about Chris Snow or Frank Crandall or Elgin Walker. It's about loving, serving, and caring the people in our organization, helping them being productive members of society, which Rebecca McGinnis is a star of, and so many other people that are in this group.